everybody. I wanted to give an update on my progress so far using Nanosoma. It's been 2 weeks as of tomorrow. And it's been interesting. I started off with the 5 sprays right away. I've done a lot of detox and cleansing, and so I just went for it right away. I am over 50, so my goal was to do the program that is suggested for people that are over 50, even though I don't have any real concerning, life-threatening health issues. I tend to want to go for the gusto. So I did 5 sprays a day. I did 5 sprays on the first day, and I regretted it because I got a headache, and I just don't get headaches. And I do have an issue right now with my pituitary, and it has caused some headaches in the last couple years. So I have had some headaches related to this particular issue, but never in my life have I ever dealt with headaches. So I got it, it started, mild, and then it got kind of moderate, and I took the sprays in the morning, and it was still there at bedtime. I was able to sleep it off. So the next day I was like, all right, let me read the instructions again. And I did 1 spray, and I was good. What I've noticed, as far as benefits, that's the only side effect I've got that was uncomfortable, the headache. As far as benefits go, I do feel an energy increase. Mostly I feel the energy increase, I wouldn't even call it energy increase. It's a little bit more than that. I'm a kind of a gym rat, and I lift weights, and I'm a shadow of what I used to be now, but so I'm not an amateur. I'm an intermediate weightlifter, and so I know my body, and I know how it responds, even though as I'm getting older, it doesn't seem to ever be the same. But I definitely have noticed a sharp increase in my lifts, like overnight. Probably after the first few days, I noticed that. My muscles are just able to engage more. Maybe I have more of a blood supply, going to the muscle. My lifts have been so dramatically increased that I was just, surprisingly, just the bar just flew right off me, going back to a couple years ago, when I was, at kind of my peak at 3-4 years ago. So that is great news. The product does claim to increase mitochondrial activity. Maybe that's it. Maybe there's a lot more to it. Maybe it's also regulating hormones. There's a lot to do with strength and energy and all vitality and all that. So it's probably not just one thing, but so far a big thumbs up. Very happy with it. And it only tastes soapy on the first day for me. After that, it didn't taste weird at all. Hi everybody. I wanted to give an update on my experience with Nanosoma. I am on week 3 of the therapeutic protocol. The first week was 5 sprays, working up to 5 sprays once a day, and it took me about 10 days to get a week of that. I had to go slow. And the second week was 5 sprays 4 times a day, and I'm currently halfway through bumping that down, 5 sprays twice a day. And I am definitely detoxing, but in a way that's very manageable. During the 5 sprays 4 times a day, got a lot of skin detox. You can kind of see this here. I have had all my life issues with mouth sores. Generally they're not up here though. When I was younger they were up here younger, and then when I got older they started to be on the bottom. And I have them inside too, like the canker sores, and that is definitely coming out of me big time, and I will have to say that they're healing a lot faster. Normally it takes a longer time for these things to go away, and this one blistered right away, and it was going to be massive, and I could just tell that it was healing faster than it would have normally. Now this is the actual sore, the blister, let's call it, is gone, and this is just the scab, and here's what I think is happening. This has been hanging on for a while, and it's because it keeps bleeding, cracking, getting, I'm putting cream on it to keep it from getting too dry, But something interesting happened to me yesterday. I went into a doctor's appointment and I had a very minor procedure where they had to do a very small incision that I've done a number of times before. And this time it bled quite a bit, and they had to put extra measures afterwards to stop the bleeding, and it was no big deal, but it was just like, the doctor said this is interesting. And then I remembered that how this has been acting, even at night if it cracks, like I'm bleeding on my pillowcase, you know, that's never happened before. I think my blood is thinner. I think that's what's happening, is my blood is flowing better, it's thinner. That's my hypothesis at this time, and that's different. I've never experienced that before, so that's very interesting. I am getting some real tiny, some kind of weird other things on my skin. I did get something weird on my thumb. It was like a blister like deep inside, and I was able to actually play with it a little bit with a pin, and it hurt a lot, and I was able to kind of drain it. I have in the past had like eczema type things on my fingers. It's been a long time since I've ever had those issues, but they'll be like little pin-sized little blisters. It's been years because I've done a ton of detoxing, but I think it's just bringing out the deep stuff, you know, that needs to come out. And I've got these skin-colored little bumps. My legs, I have them a little bit. I notice a couple on my arm, a couple on my abdomen. Maybe it's possible that I'm noticing these now and I didn't notice before, but I gotta tell you, I'm pretty aware of my physical body, and I know my skin tells my story, and I know my skin, and I know usually every bump that's everywhere, and so I think I'm getting a little bit of detox there too. So overall, I feel great. When I did do the therapeutic week of 5 sprays 4 times a day, I was getting bogged down. I was getting fatigued, and it was not natural. It was not normal, let's say, but it was normal for me when I'm doing any kind of fasting, any kind of heavy detox. So I could tell that my body was detoxing. I actually, you know what? I did more than 7 days. I did 9 days on that week, simply because I forgot. And then I thought, well, 9 days, okay, we'll do 9 days. But I was getting that fatigue beforehand. But I did get some fatigue, and then when I was able to back off to twice a day, the fatigue went away. Feeling energetic again like I did in the first week. I feel strong. My muscles feel like they're engaging, you know, better than they had prior. And so that's what I have so far. So I'm almost a month since day one. And I am very impressed. Hey everybody. I wanted to give a nanosoma update because it's been a while. And I actually have some pretty interesting things to report. I did a couple videos. The first video, I reported that I had better energy right away, and I noticed it right away. That was fantastic. That didn't last. I think it's probably now intermittent, and that's kind of what I'm hearing from most people, is they get this initial energy boost that they really, you can't not notice it, like it's obvious. And then it goes away. And for me, it's mostly gone, but I feel like I do get these bursts, you know, where if I look back, you know, I can see that it's happening more than it used to. And then pretty much on my second video, like I had this, you know, lip full of mouth sores, and I was reporting that, sure enough, what they say happened to me. And I've had, you know, all my life since I was a kid, I had the blisters on my lips, and it's been getting worse since I'm getting older. And, you know, my immune system obviously is not as good as it was when I was 12. So, I was noticing that, and sure enough, I was getting all this stuff coming out. But now it's great. Like you know, my lips are not as dry. I'm not getting, you know, I'm not getting really anything, you know, like I said. So that's huge. So that's number one. I have really 3 big things to report. So that's number one. Number two, you're not going to believe this, but my asthma is gone. It's just gone. I have documented cardiovascular issues. My heart's the big thing. It's an electrical issue, and it's a whole nother story. But it's just an electrical issue. It has nothing to do with lifestyle or anything like that. And it's really hard to fix it. So, and it won't cause, death or anything. So I'm not really worried. I just get winded. It's really, I do get a lot of symptoms. But anyway, with that, I was getting asthma since I was probably about 20. And getting kind of worse, and so I even recently in the last year went and had, all the tests and stress tests and all that stuff, and yeah, they thought I had COPD, which they had to rule out because I don't smoke. So, that's the second thing I noticed on Nanosoma. I'd say after like 3 months, I was like, you know what, I can breathe. So the inflammation, whatever was causing the inflammation in my lungs, is gone. That's huge. Okay, so I've got another huge thing. I reported on my second report that I went to have a minor procedure done, which caused a little bit of blood every time, and my blood was thinning, and because normally I don't bleed like that. And the doctor was like, this is weird, like this normally doesn't happen. So I was noticing, like, my blood was thinning. That's not really related, but I'll tell you about the procedure. So the procedure, what I get is I get bioidentical hormones and pellets, and they make a little incision in my hip every 3 months. I usually can go like 3.5 months, and was miraculous for me. I had really bad, I've got hormonal issues as of late, like as of the last few years, never in my life before that, but something went wacky with my pituitary gland. That's a whole nother story. I've got some pretty big issues with my pituitary, but it affected my hormones, and so I was miserable before the bioidenticals. So I found the right bioidentical for me. It's called BioT, by the way, and that was a little procedure that I did, and so I've been on that for almost 2 years. In February it'll be 2 years, and I feel fantastic on it. I feel like normal. I felt like 40 again. It's just a lot of things were way better. My quality of life was way better. So it was coming up on the 3-month mark, which would have been August, end of August. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of waiting, and I still feel great. Like now it's another 6 weeks past the time when I would have had another hormonal treatment, and I don't think I need it. And that's crazy. To me, that's crazy. If you know how bad my symptoms were, and I had to go back. I would know I would get the night sweats, the hot flashes during the day. So I'm thinking, do I not need that anymore? If that's true, that's $100 a month that I'm saving right there. So, and maybe my body is working more correctly, or at least the symptoms of that, of the menopause, let's face it, is not there, So I'm gonna be really anxious to see how long this is gonna last. But those 3 things right there are absolutely huge. So I will probably never be without this stuff. I'm really looking forward to even the longer term results, because it just keeps getting better and better and more deeper, of the healing, really. And what it does is it turns your DNA back on. Like, for instance, your vitamin C. It's said that at one time we were able to process our own vitamin C. Well, this is supposed to turn that gene back on. You're not supposed to need vitamin C anymore. Like dogs, they produce their own. We don't. Or maybe we do, but we're just not genetically, no longer genetically can. So if I have anything else that's great to report in another few months, I'll do that. So we'll see you guys out there.